All right, welcome to episode one of Drae's Port Reports. In this show, I'm going to go over my portfolio holdings, everything that I'm holding, because I believe transparency is absolutely crucial and key when it comes to keeping you guys updated and stuff. And I love these videos because it's much easier for me to, keep you guys in the loop and more actively, more insightfully explain my thoughts and yeah, my thought process, my reasonings behind everything. So let's get straight into it, man. So here on Deck Screener, I do have my watch list here of my portfolio holdings. You may notice that some coins I've discussed before in the past aren't here. That's just one thing I want to clarify, man. I definitely don't want to be expected to be telling you guys what I'm de-risking, what I'm selling, this and that, because fact of the matter is that, when it comes to like entries and exits, it's all ultimately up to you guys. Like all I do is tell you guys like what I like, what I'm doing, and it's up to you guys whether you listen or not, based on my track record, based on my success rate, and based on the quality of the stuff that I'm talking about. And in general, as you know, I do like to keep it very very high quality. The coins I discuss. Most recently, as you know, I've mentioned some coins have been doing well. Hedge. I talked about it 3 days ago, and now it's already up like more than 2x. It's starting to pump and break out. It's a beautiful structure here. I yesterday mentioned how I got into EQ9. That's now in the portfolio as well. EQ9, very nice risk reward. Yeah, I talked about it at 580k. I think now it's at 749k. So decent little pump there. I also bought CTRL, Alt Control. Posted this one at 916k. This is tokenized stocks narrative, RWA. So this one's really interesting as well. You guys got to look into these two that I've recently mentioned. Nom Nom, I mentioned this one about a month ago at 1.4 million market cap. And the other day out of the blue, it pumped 10x. So amazing, 1.4 million to 14 million market cap, 10x. That would have been, 100 bands on a 10k position, Crazy money, good money, fairly quickly as well, I'm not holding Nom Nom anymore. That's why it's not here in the portfolio watch list anymore. But yeah, lots of things have been coming up on the timeline. Things looking good, things looking good. You may notice that SBETS is not here anymore. I have put it to my buying next or buy watching watch list. And these are basically ones that I've either sold or need to get back into or plan on buying next, or I'm just watching and very, very interested in buying. As for SBET, the only reason I sold is purely because I felt as though I didn't have an edge. One thing I've realized, guys, is having an edge in the space is so, so, so important. And ultimately, to me, I'm trying to manage risk here. And if I don't feel like I have a really clear-cut edge, I'd rather avoid it for now. But again, this shows the importance of having watch lists. I've learned from my mistakes in the past of just completely forgetting about coins. I'm not doing that with SPEC, for example. I'm keeping in my watch list, and not just any watch list, but like a serious one where I'm heavily looking at and considering buying back in. Here's the thing, I did a video on it recently when there was all that FUD a few days ago. Yeah, so price back then, as you can see a bit here, price back then would have been in this chop here. And in that video, I did say price could drop and consolidate before going up. So I knew it would happen. And it's funny because I honestly I kind of just waited for the drop to happen before I sold. I ended up selling around here. So yeah, I had a feeling the drop would happen, and I didn't panic sell. I didn't drop purely because it dropped. It's just I decided to sell because I realized, look, this might take a while to consolidate before the next leg if it does end up having another leg. And although there's nothing wrong with consolidation and stuff, I'm a patient guy. I can be patient. The problem for me was feeling like the opportunity cost of keeping the money there compared to other plays where I felt like I had more of an edge. It wasn't comfortable to me, I feel genuinely as though personally I have more of an edge in, for example, EQ9 or, for example, Alt Control rather than SBET. And that's for various reasons, And I know if you guys are holding SBET, it's not ideal to be hearing this, but the reasoning is, first of all, the charts of this and EQ9 are clearly a lot more, how do I say it? It's more established. They're more established. They're coins in which have been consolidating for quite a while sideways, and that's exactly what I like. And although SBET is also sideways, the thing is SBET has had a lot of drama recently. And so although in that episode of Bullish or Bullshit, I did say at the end that it was bullish, I stand by that. It was bullish. It's just that what I've come to learn is just because you find something bullish doesn't mean you 100% need to keep your money there versus somewhere else. That's something I've learned in the past. It's okay to find many things bullish, but you could still choose between them and decide how much to buy in. And with me, unfortunately, obviously the portfolio is limited. There's only a certain amount of cash I can put in, and so I decided, like, risk reward wise, I preferred this and EQ9. Also, they're utility plays. The utility plays. I have nothing wrong with meme coins. I'm holding meme coins. Like RIP VC and Captain BNB. It's just that I did feel as though I need more exposure to utility coins, and these two look absolutely beautiful to me. So yeah, that was my thought process behind SBET. I like SBET. I just feel like I have more of an edge in these. The risk reward just feels better on them to me. The utility coins, the charts look ready to send like now as well. Not to mention, because another thing I've realized is timing is very important when it comes to your holdings. Timing, in the sense that, say for example, these two, because they look like they're about to break out, right? Say these two were to hypothetically 10x in like 2 weeks. If these are 10x'd, while at the same time I had a feeling that SBET is going to be consolidating for a while, and say I end up being right, and say in 2 weeks time it's like still consolidating and it's looking prime, looking absolutely beautiful, or it's only just started to break out and confirmed that it's like confirmed to have strength and going to continue upwards, well then guess what? I am up 10x on these two other holds. I can use that capital to buy back into this. So that's also one thing I've realized. Like, I'm not saying always be constantly rotating and chasing pumps, not at all. But I'm saying you have to be strategic with it though. Because as I said, this and it can now look primed for upside. If I'm right and do go up soon, and I take profits, I have a lot of cash, well then I can buy back into this with conviction later on. It's a win-win because, again, I do think this needs to consolidate more. Or at least if it breaks out and confirms the strength, well then I can just buy back in on a dip, say at 10 million. And that's easy money to say 20, 30, 50, 100 million, who knows. So yeah, that's my thought process, guys. I want to be as honest as possible, moving forward. I've just realized how key it is. So yeah, so those are some recent updates. RIP VC, I'm very, very, very optimistic with this one. Very optimistic. Yeah, and by the way, you may have noticed I've changed the colors of my candles. The reasoning for that is because this is how I had it on my deck screener for quite a while. Since the past maybe 3-4 months. And the reason I changed it is because, well, candlestick colors are very important for psychology, man. Like, when it comes to the green and red, we've kind of been conditioned to just feel a certain way about it. Whereas with these colors, it feels very much neutral to me, Like, I don't feel anywhere near as much FOMO or fear with these candlestick colors compared to the classic red and green. So, yeah, anyways, that said, RIP VC does look very, very nice. You guys got to watch the video I've made on it. I've made quite a few videos on it. I think it's gonna do insanely well. You guys got to watch the videos I've made on it. I think it's an insane narrative. Ben Pasternak, the founder of Believe app and Launchcoin, he himself launched RIP VC. It's the second coin he's ever launched after Launchcoin. Launchcoin's at like, what's that right now? Let's see. Launchcoin is at 154 million market cap. So I'll delete that 1-2 thing. Leave that. I'm not even holding this, but TA on our Launchcoin is going to be important for RIP VC, because the better Launchcoin does, the better RIP VC does. So it's interesting. Like on the 4-hour and the 8-hour, on the Bollinger Bands, it looks pretty, fairly bottomed out. For example, on the 4-hour, it looks pretty clean there. But yeah, we could very much drop a bit more down here before going up again. That'd be perfectly fine in my opinion. We did change to a bullish market structure. We had high lows. We had low lows, low highs. Then we broke out here. We confirmed that change in bullish market structure. Now we just need that high low before continuation. So it's perfectly fine. What's going on here? Very, very, very excited. That's going to translate into RIP VC. But again, second coin he ever launches. Okay, second coin he ever launches. And I've heard from a lot of people, okay, I've heard things, and I've heard that it's going to get really interesting, man. It's going to get really interesting. And he actually did a video, like Ben Pasternak, he did a video with, wow, they didn't even put it on the Twitter, bro. That's how low-key all this is. That's the thing, it's very, very low-key and early. Let me see what people are saying here in this chat real quick. I read pretty quickly, so yeah, just excuse me for a sec. Oh, this Fartcoin chat with 836 grand bought as well. Yeah, that's the thing, bro. A lot of whales have been buying. They're all holding still, by the way. But yeah, look at this.
is the problem. But I think that meme coins have like gotten a negative rep, and part of our job is like fixing that. And I think that we can do that. And for me, that's like why I got into the space in the first place. I'm one of the people that is like, oh, meme coins have like a terrible rep. I like don't want to be involved in that. But having gotten close to it through Moonshot and seeing like how powerful it is and everything the traders have built and like this community, and there's so much money. It's a really powerful system. Like, how can we take it to its like next evolution? That's like why I'm here.
Did you hear that? So literally, Ben Pasternak himself is saying that he's here to take memes, the next step further. And what's insane and amazing about it is the name itself speaks for itself. RIP VCs, RIP VCs, and that's kind of what Believe App stands for as well. The actual platform that he owns. So yeah, man, really really interesting stuff. Let's see what else I can update you on. Yeah, so Hedge again. Hedge has been pumping, doing insanely well. I first called this probably around here. So it pumped a bit, retraced, boom. So it's definitely like an insane confirmed breakout. We broke past all of this resistance here. So now the sky's the limit, honestly, bro. The sky's the limit. It's about to blow. One change I've done recently, you may have noticed in a few screenshots. Well, yeah, a few of the things I was showing before. I have limit orders set now on like all the coins I hold. So now automatically I'm taking profits automated on things, as they go up. Instead of leaving things to guesswork, now I always have, a bot of mine that just, just de-risks over time when things are going well, and that just removes a lot of room for human error. Sorry, it removes a lot of room for that because that's not what we want. We don't want to leave things up to chance and rely on human psychology and emotion, which aren't reliable. Having some sort of automated system is much more efficient and a more guaranteed way to actually keep the money we make. So yeah, I have limit order set. You might see here a bit, the T-sun there. So yeah, what else? Gary, I really, really, really like Gary. No homer, bro, no homer. But yeah, Gary had a little expected dump there. But yeah, if we look at this, bro, like you can't tell me this chart doesn't look primed, bro. You can't tell me, bro. This is gonna send so fucking hard. I'm telling you right now. If you just zoom out, dude. It's gonna send. It's gonna send very hard, very, very, very hard. It's been around for 6 months, 6 days. Yeah, bro, this is gonna be an insane ride. It's gonna be very fun. It's about to get crazy, in my opinion, with Gary. About to get really crazy. Captain BNB. Captain BNB for me, it's basically a confirmed kind of play. Confirmed in the sense that you guys just gotta watch the video, man. I did a video with GG's. With GG's, the influencer himself, the man himself. Where is the video? Did a video with him. Well, yeah, find it. It's on my Twitter. It was recent. It was like a week ago or something. Yeah, bro. What they've been doing, the interactions they've been getting from Binance. I mean, bro, like let me explain it simply put. These guys are the main meme coin on BSC. Like they're the mascot of it. There's Bob, Builder, Bob or some shit that recently flew to insane numbers. But they're not really the mascot of Binance, You guys just gotta watch the video, man. I went really, really deep into like the whole thing with GG's, with this guy here, GG's. I went really, really deep into the thesis and stuff with him on why it's gonna do well and stuff. So yeah, very exciting there. Now Ox Gas. So Ox Gas is a coin that I've been talking about for literally 2 years. It's one of the OG coins I've been supporting and working with. I've been working with them since V1, because this is V2, in case you didn't even know. This is V2, and they did a relaunch back in December 2023. I was promoting this back at like 500k market cap. It had a huge run up, and here we are again. Here we are again. Just recently did a new all-time high. We might have a bit of chop here before continuation, but yeah, bro, like it's about to get really, really real. I'm gonna drop a full video on Aux Gas. I'm gonna do a Drae effect show on it. I'll probably drop it in a few hours today as well. I'll probably record it right now, actually, after this episode finishes. But Aux Gas is one of those ones that it's just a rare kind of find. It's a rare kind of find, and the fact that I only just got into price discovery just shows that things are about to get silly here. They're about to get silly, and very exciting, man. So yeah, I'm glad that I'm showing you this to you guys early. Let's move on to the last two. So there's Alia. Alia is a gaming coin that I've been holding for a very long time, actually. Very long time. Since the start of launch, actually. Start of launch. And, well, yeah, start of launch as in I was accumulating around here. I was then accumulating more in this accumulation range. And what I think is happening now is kind of like a, maybe you can call it manipulation of sorts. What I do like and makes me really comfortable here now is that before it was just a falling knife. And now we have kind of like this, you know, this curve kind of recovery, like almost like a V-shaped recovery, honestly. And we recently changed to a bullish market structure. You know, we had lower lows, lower highs. And then here is where we changed market structure. Now we just need to ensure that there's some sort of a high low, and then boom, continuation. And continuation, my friends, for this one, I'm expecting very high on Alia. It's literally just 550k market cap. And if you look at their actual game, and I've done videos on this recently as well on my Twitter, just go through it. If you actually look through what they've built, you're going to see that it's extremely undervalued, okay? Extremely undervalued. So, yeah, man, it's actually insane. And that's the whole point as an investor. You know, as an investor, the whole point is to find things that are undervalued and that are mispriced and that the market hasn't caught onto yet, you know, and that's all it is. And for the last one, we have Yafa here. Yafa is one that I've been promoting since like 10 million market cap around here, pumped all the way to 38, and I've still been holding, still supporting these guys. It's beautiful, man, what they're doing. You know, it's basically let me just show you here. They're literally Palestine's first digital currency. Palestine doesn't have their own like actual currency. It's pretty insane when you think about it. They don't have their own currency, and so these guys are trying to tap into that, you know, untapped market basically. And they've been doing beautiful things. You know, they should honestly be a bit more public about it. But with a lot of the you know, funds that they've been generating, they've been doing lots of charity efforts. You know, many charity efforts. Let me just turn that down. They've been doing a lot of charity efforts. You know, for men, women, children, building schools and stuff. So yeah, really cool stuff they're doing. You know, I really do respect it. And yeah, a lot of also history and culture there. So they're doing beautiful things, you know. I think it's just a matter of time before this breaks out as well. I mean, when you just zoom out, it does look like a huge accumulation range. Ideally, they should get more volume soon, though, honestly. But yeah, probably a little bit more chop down here, and then boom, continuation. So yeah, man. That's basically it for everything that I'm holding right now. I've shown you what's on my watch list, you know, that I need to buy more of or something. And yeah, good tech. You guys saw me promoting good tech. I decided to get out because I don't know. Again, I guess the whole risk to reward in terms of opportunity cost. That's what was getting to me. Like I was thinking, all right, would I rather have money here or just add to my Gary bag? So I was like, honestly, man, like Gary for me is easy, guaranteed, confirmed money. I was like, fuck it. Like, although this could do a 10x like really soon, what if it doesn't? I just missed out on easy money on Gary. So right now I'm prioritizing kind of like confirmed money, like confirmed, kind of like guaranteed, like obviously nothing's guaranteed, right? Not financial advice, but guaranteed to me that it feels comfortable, you know? Although this can do really well, it just to me didn't feel comfortable relative to, for example, Gary or RIP VC, you know? STRD, I promoted this one at 69k, literally like right here, you know? It pumped, consolidated, had a huge pump here. I had a limit order set right here to take 10% of, you know, of my position, and it went through automatically. And unfortunately, that's all I got. So literally all of that, you know, all of that just to get 10%. You know, I had a bunch of other limit orders set. Well, only two, but I had bigger targets in mind. Obviously, I mean, the narrative was really interesting to me. But right now, it's pretty much confirmed that, yeah, like this is either going to need a lot of time to recover, or it's just going to die off. I don't know, man. I don't know. Personally, I decided to sell back when I was around here, just so you know. Like I took the 10% profits here automatically. Then by the time price was here, I was like, yeah, this is crazy. And just, yeah, sold. I like break even, basically, the rest. A little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's basically it. Nom Nom, you know, as you know, did the 10x from when I first shared it. Now it's just consolidating. Who knows if we'll end up just being a pump and dump, if we'll survive. Who knows? But yeah, thanks very much for watching the video, guys. And stay tuned for the aux gas video, which I'll be posting in about 5 hours from now, okay? So stay tuned and hope you enjoy it. Thank you.